Welcome to the Player2.net Video Games Club for the month of May. This month is my game. We are playing, have played Psychonauts, and I actually played it on the original Xbox copy, but I think the other two guys played it on Steam. This is a game that originally came out in about 2005. For me, look, normally at this stage we would tell you about where the game came from, but I'm going to tell you my story. For me, I saw this in a lot of gaming mags back in the day, around 2002, 2003. So for me, I was, probably early high school around then. And I loved the way that it looked. The art style looked fantastic. It just really looked like a cool game. And when you have that game you see before it's released and you're like, that's going to be really cool. That was one of those games for me. I've been lucky to have a few of those over the journey. Sunset Overdrive was another one. But with this game I followed, and when it came out, I managed to play, I think it was the demo on the PC, and I adored it and I wanted to play more of it, but I just didn't have, I was a GameCube kid back then, so it didn't come out on GameCube. So I followed it for a long time, and then when I finally got my 360 in about 2009, it was backwards compatible, so I jumped on it then, and I've adored it ever since. It's a fantastic game. It's I guess an adventure style 3D platformer, and it's made by Double Fine, and it's, as far as I'm concerned, one of their best work. It's fantastic. So now we're going to just jump in and see what the other guys thought. Okay, stay tuned.
Welcome to Player2 Video Games Club for the month of May. My name's Paul James, and I'm joined today by Jay Parnas and Damo Camilleri.
Hi.
Not sure what's going on with the silence today, so we'll keep going. The Video Games Club, Jay, it's your choice this month. So
yes.
Pick for everyone.
This month it is going to be has been Psychonauts. That's twice I've done that. Once in the intro, once now. Awesome. We've already played the game, I promise. So this month it was Psychonauts, which is a game from 2005 originally. Got a big re-release at some stage on Steam, and it's actually sold more games since it's been re-released on Steam than
it originally did.
Yeah, I think it sold about 400,000 copies or something like that in its original run. I think it's now sold like 1.6 million.
It originally launched on PS2, Xbox,
and PC as well. Yeah, PC CD-ROM, because that still existed back then. All right, so I'm going to start off with, did you guys like the game? What did you think?
Yes.
Good, thank you.
Typically, but those who've watched each episode so far probably have been aware that there's been a few that you've picked that's not gravitated towards me at all.
Just the one, Killer 7, I think.
Even Paul's games that he chooses don't gravitate towards him.
But sometimes. But this one really did. It's been on my to-play list, my pile of shame, whatever you want to call it, for quite some time.
Pile of shame, that works.
And I've had the opportunity now to play it, and I'm really glad that I did, because it was well and truly worth it. Damo?
I loved it. Yeah, again, same thing here. I think when I first got Steam, actually, you came over and you were recommending games left, right, and centre, and you're
I remember that.
Get on Psychonauts, and it was there when the first Steam sale that I had came around. I bought it pretty much. Yep, it was like $3 or some bullshit like that.
It's always pretty cheap on Steam.
So good.
Hot tip: it's always really cheap on Steam. You should look it up.
You can get the Double Fine bundle, sure.
Yeah, the stuff that they Double Fine. Since again, this was their first game.
As Double Fine.
Yes, their first game as a company. And they look, in my opinion, they knocked it out of the park. I don't know why the sales just weren't there. Maybe it was a marketing thing. I don't really know.
Well, that's the thing, though, isn't it? I didn't know about it until you showed me the.
Yes, which is fantastic, and that's a great way to taunt people.
It is.
Or to celebrate victory, whichever you feel both work perfectly fine. And it's just one of those games, man. It's been on those lists of top 10 games that no one's played, or top 10 games that demand a sequel and whatever, and that's obviously happened since then, but or will be happening.
Will happen.
Yeah.
It's taken over a decade for the announcement.
Pretty much, yeah. So you guys, consensus pretty high, pretty good rating.
Yeah, well, that was it. I got into this game, I'm watching it, and it's the start's not so amazing, the intro
start,
video kind of cutscene thing, but then you get to the controls and it's just okay, you're going to go up your spiral tower, follow the kids, and you go into your first level and it's oh, okay, this is great. Like, this is
Yeah, it's a really tight
just
platformer.
completely different. Like, you know, I know you go into different worlds and things in other games, but this was just, I don't know, it just seemed so right for the game. Like, you know, entering someone's mind, and that mind was just absolute war zone. Like, pun intended. It was just great. Like,
Top tip. The first level is called basic braining, as in basic training from like military, and yeah, it's a war zone. Real funny. I mean, I don't know what I would want to call my first. Like, if you've got a game about like psychics, yeah, absolutely.
Basic
Call your first level basic braining.
Yeah.
That is like
yeah, knock
that is
around.
as top shelf as you can get, as far as I'm concerned. All right, on to the next one. So what I wanted to talk about, and since you sort of actually started to bring it up in terms of how tight things feel and how it is very different, but it is very good at what it does.
Yeah.
And I spoke to you guys about this before. Very early in the game, you actually get an item that is a piece of bacon. Did you guys use it very much?
No.
No, I had no idea until you were showing me
Aware of it
today.
Aware of it, but barely used it.
So the cool thing about it is it's kind of like you can use it for your, I guess what you could call like your Navi-esque. You could sort of have like a little telepathic speech with one of the other characters, but some of the options in there are really, really useful. So there's one where if you're anywhere in the overworld, you can teleport back to the sort of home base, which you can use that home base to like help you level up and do some stuff there. And
Yeah.
in fact, as you actually unlock abilities, if you actually get out the strip of bacon, instead of having just to go there, he'll actually prompt you and say, "Hey, I see it's time for you to learn this new upgrade. Do you just want to come and get it?" And it'll not only teleport you there, but it'll start the cutscene where they give you the power. Like, it goes straight to that.
Throw straight to it. And that was
Yeah,
handy.
which is like, that's amazing. Like, it puts
Yeah.
you don't have to go there, you don't have to start talking to them, you don't have to open up the conversation dialogue box, anything like that. It warps you there, you get the power, and then, or at any other time that you go there, you then talk to this guy again, and one of the options will be, I'm ready to go back out in the field, and it will teleport you almost exactly to the same spot that you were standing in that previous level. So not just it'll teleport you back to that part of the world, it'll put you to almost the exact spot you were standing in when you like called up the bacon. In addition, obviously it can give you a lot of dialogue on how to beat enemies and overcome obstacles. For every little sort of checkpoint or thing that you need to do anywhere, there's a unique bit of dialogue that he'll give you on what you should be doing next. And it's all funny. The game's tone is...
The thing is, it's bacon. Like,
Yeah, well-
just when you thought bacon couldn't get any better, it gives you a guide to a game.
And the really
Thank
funny
you, bacon.
And the really funny part,
kidding.
if you whip out the bacon when he's physically around you, he'll be like, "Put that away or I'll eat it." Like,
Oh yeah, he says something like that when you first get it.
Yeah. He's like,
Oh, yeah.
don't pull that thing out when I'm physically nearby, or I'll just eat the damn thing. Because that's the thing. Like, his explanation of why he can talk to you is just, he's just riding shotgun in your brain, and he just really loves bacon. So you whip out the bacon, and out he comes. And that's it. Like, no, it's not like a special piece of bacon.
No.
It's just delicious bacon, which I think's great. And so that leads me into some of the systems that this game has that are either not like. They're fantastic and they're super efficient and they work fantastically well that I've not seen a game use since or before, or that just like it does it's a 2005 game that does it better than games now. So like porting to home base and now, even in games like Dark Souls or Bloodborne or any of those other sort of action games where you've got like a place where you level up,
Like a hub.
Yeah, any game with a hub, it's not that easy. Like, it's just like you've got to go, I've got to walk all the way there, or I've got to find a portal and finally get... No, you just like whip out the item from your inventory, bang, choose the dialogue, go, load, you're there, do what you need to do, talk to him again, bang, you pick up exactly where you were.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. In addition to that leads me on to my next thing that I want to talk about, which is the dialogue. So, before you guys started playing the game, I gave you a very, very specific tip. And again, this touches on what I mentioned before in terms of unique dialogue. Talk to all the characters as often as you can, as much as you can. After you do a thing, talk to them repeatedly. And how did you guys find that? Was that a useful piece of advice just for the enjoyment of the game?
Yeah, for sure. Do it. It's worth it. It's good fun. There's lots of extended dialogue there.
Jeez, so demanding. Do it, do it, I tell you.
There'll be like a video in the bottom corner of the screen of people doing it.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm going to
Good. We have started.
ruin my own joke now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived.
The podcast has now truly begun.
Okay.
No, it was
The real-
It was worth kind of having repeated chats to them. And there was a couple here and there where it was just the same repeated dialogue, but for the most part, 99% of the time it wasn't. And typically that follow-up line or two or three, quite funny.
Yeah. Great for world building. Great for hilarity factor. What
Well,
about you?
there was one in the, I don't know, the clubhouse thing.
The kids' cabins?
Yeah, and it was just they were playing instruments and stuff, and I didn't actually have to engage the conversation with them again. Like I spoke to them the first time.
Oh,
and then,
yeah.
and then they just proceeded to talk for.
Yeah, so they'll actually...
I put the game down because I was checking something on my phone, and I realised after about 3 or 4 minutes, hang on, this is not the same dialogue on a loop.
Yeah, so
they're still going.
The conversation actually can occur even if you don't actually walk up and push your action button. You being nearby, you'll like overhear conversations, which is really cool. Because again, a lot of them, when you start talking to them, you'll follow up that conversation that's had. Which I think I know the one you're talking about. They're like arguing over the name of their band, and then when you actually do talk to them when you talk to them for the first time, your character actually gives his suggestion, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's really good." Yeah. And then you talk to them again, and it's like, "Hey, I've got another suggestion."
Casualty.
Okay.
Going.
Yeah, I mean, Star Wars is on the downwards trot, as we all know. Moving on.
Continue.
Not really. Everyone knows it's everywhere all at the moment. In terms of, that conversation, when you talk to them again, you'll be like, "Oh, I've got another idea." And they'll be like, "No, please, the other one was too good. You'll just give us more to fight about." One of my favourites is one of the first conversations you have, actually, with the extra special kid who wears the tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
Where the conversation starts with him arguing with squirrels, and as you leave, you just hear like a sound. You turn around and you see him like smiling, and then you turn and walk away further, and little bits of squirrel drop down, and you walk up and you're like, "Hey, what happened to those squirrels?" And he's like, "They lied, and then they left." It's just like it, and that was the thing. Those little conversations were. I spoke about it in the intro. I actually managed to get the demo of this game. So there's actually like a little gate at the. You have to do basic braining before you can leave that kids' cabin area.
Yeah.
And that gate is basically where the demo stops. And just playing that little bit and seeing that like natural dialogue was amazing. But the thing that I wanted to bring about with you guys, and I guess you guys told me a little early today that you didn't really experiment with it too much, is that you can like go into your inventory and you can grab items and have them in your hand. And then if you talk to someone, it actually your dialogue, your conversation is based around the item that you're using, or it's involved in some way, shape, or form. Now, this game, obviously, one of the creative directors, or the creative director, was Tim Schafer, who a lot of us know from his work at LucasArts, where he's doing point-and-click games. That's totally how it works in point and click. You like drag your item onto a person, and you'll like be like, "Hey, tell me about this item," or we'll talk about the item, and that's totally what this is. And it's it works so smoothly. It's just like you get a button very early on that is like a context thing that you need, and every single kid at camp and staff member and everything, you can walk up. And you can you have the button in your hand, and your dialogue will be different. You have additional dialogue for just that one item with every single person.
Yeah.
And this is all voiced over dialogue. There's a lot that went into this game. I know this is sort of me gushing about this game a whole lot.
No, that's fine. Actually, it was the items that I struggled with at the beginning because I didn't know how to get the item menu up.
Oh, really?
Because I was using an Xbox controller on
Oh, that's
Steam,
what you were using on Steam.
and it was just okay, where's this button? I'm in that room where you gotta put the button down first.
Yeah, I wasn't looking for the D-pad.
And I was like... and I just didn't realise what to do. And then, I actually went on, Google, and I'm like, where's my button gone? And someone was like, yeah, it's just in your items. You've just gotta do this. And I'm like... well, you're using a keyboard, so I have no idea what you're doing. So I was like, well, it's obviously a button. I've just mashed over these things.
things.
Yeah.
Because it's weird because in the original Xbox version, I think it was actually still your D-pad, but it was also select. Yeah. So for me playing on the Xbox 360, because it's backwards compatible, both the left and right D-pad buttons and the back button would work. So the left button would be your items and the right button would be your sort of psychic powers. And if you press them, it would just load up that part of your backpack. When you press the back button, it would just load up the one you were in last. Yeah. Which is really useful. And why that's not in the Steam port, I mean, you could probably bind it. You could probably go into key bindings.
But strange quirks about
it. Yeah, weird. Version. But there's just so many systems in this game that they're so elegant that like it just baffles the mind. Because like I was playing the Xbox version, the original Xbox version on a 360, and I didn't remember half of these systems being this cool. I was playing, I'm like, has this been updated? Like, what, was this in there the last time I played it? Because it was just so cool. But then I'm like, no, it's an original Xbox game. They didn't do updates on DLC back then. It never happened.
That's it, isn't it?
The developers were able to make a game work from the game.
Yeah. When it hit point of release, either it worked or you went out of business.
Hear that, Bethesda?
Sorry.
Ooh. Hear that?
99% of developers. Yeah. Tim Schafer himself probably.
I mean, Ubisoft is probably. But anyway, we're getting off topic. Yeah,
Assassin's Creed. Actually, that'll be 2 podcasts you've ranked on Ubisoft. Again, views expressed by Jay do not.
They do not necessarily represent the view. Yeah, that one. Hate me by myself. All right. Cool. So next question for you guys, and I'm going to shut up for a bunch on this one. Strengths and weaknesses. Give me your top 3, please.
Okay. Do you want to do strength, weakness?
Yeah, sure.
That would be good. Yeah, trade them off.
Sense of humour.
Do you want to start with...
Well, yeah, I was actually going to say...
do you want to start with strengths or weaknesses? And his
strengths.
Already in it.
You're going to go sense of humour? What about the sense of humour? Did you... because there's a part of the sense of humour that I found really amusing. I just want to know if you had the same...
It was outlandish, but not excessively so, because I've got a fairly short tolerance for...
wacky and...
really wacky...
Paul doesn't
nonsensical humour. And whilst this kind of was that, it wasn't so much so that I'm like... that it became... frustrating.
So what you're saying is it was actually wacky with wit.
No, it straddled that line perfectly.
No,
it was on the sweet spot.
It was.
Where most games fail to do that, and I grow tired of them quite quickly.
I'll agree with that in the sense of humour. I just like inside the minds that sense of humour where it's like the emotional baggage. And
the puns. There's a lot of puns in
the
Psychonauts.
Cobwebs and things like that. I just thought it was so great. Like, you enter this brain and it's like...
Well, because everything was like that. I mean, your health bar is called your mental health. Yeah. And when you like Z-target, if we're going to use Zelda as a reference there, your Z-targeting is called your mental focus.
Yeah. It was really cool. I think it was a massive go for it. Like, it was like... It was used right. Like, the words were just... The wordplay of it, really, was just great. Like,
So it's time for your strength, because I'm putting that under his sense of humour.
What?
Oh, jeez. We're going to have to... All right.
Do you want me to shoot the first weakness?
Oh, you want to go strength, weakness?
Yeah, I thought we'd just...
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
We planned this.
Yeah. we know, obviously, everything ahead of time.
For me, it was... and I know this is not a massive thing, but it was just like the controlling scheme thing, straight away. I know
it didn't map across to Steam very well at all.
Well, no, and not that, but it was hey, look, like there's arrowheads in the ground. Like, it would have been nice to have known that, like, straight away after after braining.
They teach you that before basic braining.
No, I didn't.
Did you not get taught that? So a lot of the tutorial stuff pops up as a one-time tutorial. It's like a page out of your journal, and then you may have buttoned through it trying to figure out some of the buttons. That can happen. Which, fair enough, if that happened. I mean, that's still to the game's detriment, not being able to have a journal of, hey, here's how to play the game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just a different time in games now. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
now we just have like straight away map button up, and I mean, it was the Steam kind of port that. It's like it didn't crush the game, so it wasn't a weakness that like made me go, well, this is bullshit and table flip. Like, it was just like, well, I would have liked this to be a tad bit improved on, but nothing massive.
Yeah.
Would you agree, like, or disagree on that?
No, I mean, it probably works a hell of a lot better with, Xbox
the
control
version
in
that- the
Xbox
version that
or
I had, for
PlayStation
sure.
control in PlayStation,
Yeah.
and not so much an Xbox controller with Steam. I did find there was a few issues, like the ones we spoke about before, where you couldn't find your menus and that sort of stuff.
Or even just pressing,
none of it was explained
like,
super
and
clearly.
and again,
even then, like
pause
when like we played it beforehand here, and we tried to navigate through our menu, and then all of a sudden options, and I had to walk over and go.
Yeah,
to the
you
computer
needed-
to-
yes,
Like,
so
there's
that
silly
needs
little
to-
things like that shouldn't have been an issue.
That's true.
But
it was probably a PC port that had controller support wedged into it later.
Oh, definitely.
No doubt about it.
So, I understand.
Yeah, and it's not like it's not detrimental to its like.
Did you actually check out the key bindings menu?
And later, like
Yeah. Oh, okay.
like as soon as like when I couldn't find
Yeah.
my
How do I
button,
even?
and then I had that issue come up to me straight away. And I'm like, well, I'm lucky I'm playing this at my computer, and I've got my keyboard right in front of me. I mean, it's annoying, but it's not. Again, didn't crush the game.
What about you? What would you say for a weakness?
For all that I had lots of good things to say about the wacky, story and dialogue and that sort of thing, there was a few characters that really grated. One girl that
Did you
loves
say
her
grind your
turtle
gears?
really grinded my gears.
Yeah, there were a couple of the high pitch. I think it was the pitch.
Some of the really high pitched ones.
was the
like
pitch of the
just-
voice, I think.
If they were a real person, I would have punched him in the head and walked off.
I mean,
Or at least abused them
you
first.
can. You can just slap people around.
Well, yeah,
The mental
it's not
punching.
quite. It's not quite. the
And
same.
again, and that goes back to the dialogue thing. You actually get a unique bit of dialogue if you hit someone, and also if you try and set them on fire, and if you pick them up with telekinesis. And it's a really fun game. And also, every single person and enemy, if you use clairvoyance, you're actually looking through their eyes. You'll be like a cardboard cutout. But usually it'll just be your character's signature goggles and eyes slapped onto something. So like one of the people we looked at today, you were just like a roaming steak, and another person like something like the cheerleaders, the two little cheerleading kids. They grade a little bit, but they see you as like this really like hulked out footballer. and
awesome.
yeah, and like the guy that you go to in the base, Ford Cruller is his name.
Yeah.
He actually sees you in Psychonauts gear, like the same clothes he's wearing, with your helmet off and like your little sort of side
Little
to the side cowlick, yeah.
Yeah.
And like so everyone sees you differently.
Yeah.
It's a really neat game in that way. But yeah, some of the characters you should punch them in the face.
Yeah.
But then again, there is a strength there too. Like some of the voicing was really good. Like
Yeah, if they
we're
were
talking
going for
Zim,
annoying with
Richard
those.
Horvitz.
Zim, and Daggett. It hit me right in the nostalgic feels, to be honest, hearing his voice again.
Yeah.
It's just great. Like it's the same for a lot of things, but like I don't know, it feels different every time he does something, you know what I mean? Like he's able to just change it slightly to, well, obviously Daggett from Angry Beavers is a whiny little beaver. Zim's just a crazy alien, and he's like this confident, psychic fighter, good. And it's not a huge change, and but that's a real go. They chose wisely on their voice actors.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Double Fine's done that with a lot of their games. I mean, Jack Black knocked it out of the park.
Oh yeah,
and so did Ozzy, Ozzy and Lemmy and all of those.
Curry.
Tim Curry knocks everything out of the park. That dude's a legend. But all of them smashed it for Brutal Legend as well. And Psychonauts was probably the start of that, where they
I guess
very dialogue heavy and
turn around and actually talking about dialogue heavy. Actually, no, we'll leave that point for later.
Strength again.
yeah.
Yeah, go strength.
The controls were super tight.
Yeah.
I do like
given
things
that
that are super tight.
tech has come a long way, the controls that we use have come a long way in the last decade or so. But I felt like this totally fit in with all of them.
Yeah. like though it was hard for me to
Super
find them.
Oh,
like
no, but I mean like just down to movement.
using them,
using
them is amazing. Like I mean, even the levitation thing. Like, what a great system! Like, it's like you can float, drop, and grab it again, and it runs so smoothly. Like, I mean, there's even modern day games. It's like you cannot glide as well as that. And
Yeah,
like
you really tight control.
Yeah,
nice small little turning circle.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep, jumping,
And you
just
for strength.
movement and everything. Oh.
I am going to make you guys come up with a total of 6 because I'm a strict taskmaster.
No worries. No worries.
I mean, look, there's a lot.
The world. The world is it's like strength in its own. Like you've got your overworld, which is like a campsite and everything like that, and it's got that beautiful like kind of what you would imagine a cartoon like summer camp to look like in a sense. But then like you go into these mental worlds and they represent people so well. Like of course you got the army guy straight away. It's a war zone. Then you got this like nerdy guy, and it's just a cube. His thoughts are just in a cube, and he's like super controlled about it all. Then you got like
don't give too many of the levels away.
Yeah, well, no, that's it. But like, I wasn't gonna go any further. But like, each person's personality affects their world in such a great way. Like, it's so good. It was just really good to see. Like, Crash Bandicoot kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Like, there's different places you go, and they represent like the different worlds and things like that. It's just really cool because you don't see that much in games anymore. Like, you kind of go to huge areas which are dedicated to just like ice, fire, mountain. This it's great because
it signifies the person.
And so they could do anything with it. So it's a massive plus. Would you agree?
My milk is delicious.
Yes.
Mostly, yeah.
It's from one of the characters late in the game has
which gets me onto that actually. For all that I agree, for the most part, the milkman level infuriated me.
Did it really?
It outstayed its welcome. Like, I got the whole idea that without spoiling too much, there's kind of a bunch of guys that are trying to blend in.
He's a conspiracy theorist. He's unhinged. And yeah, so
to enter a certain space where there's certain guys, you need to have
a certain
that
item
can go with them. So,
which again, the dialogue
or a plunger to get into the sewers or whatever it was all clever on that front, but it went for way too long.
Really, I found that the dialogue for that was just it kept like that.
Dialogue was funny.
The dialogue was. I like to trim hedges. Yes, that is a great day for this vocation. Like, it's so good. But I mean, so that's the thing for me. I guess on my walkthrough on that level, it was my second time through the level. I do remember that level taking me a long time the first time I did it, but I blew through it this time. I smashed it.
Yeah, well, so this was my first.
But again, like, I haven't played the game since 2009, so it's not like I remembered all of how to do it. For me, I guess, I don't know, I just picked it up a little easier this time. I don't know. For me, maybe it was because I had some slight memory of how things worked and where I needed to go, but...
Oh yeah, but like I said, I just think the whole thing, like, it was extended a little too long.
Okay.
We could have cut one or two of those little steps out along the way.
Well, some of them are optional.
Yeah.
I think you only need the street sign, the plunger.
That'll do. Without spoiling any more of that.
Okay, fair enough.
But I guess since I'm throwing to strength again,
you didn't say a weakness.
Good. Well, what are we doing here? You want to point out weaknesses and something? That I'm terrible at that.
That's true. But I mean,
you're still going to find two more than at this rate.
Well, that was
the second.
It's the second or third?
I've lost track. See, this is why you shouldn't be a taskmaster. Back to strengths.
So for me, like, is it hard to find weaknesses in this game?
Well, I mean, I'm not a weakness. I'm not a nitpicker or anything like that. But you guys are a lot more analytical when it comes to your games. I just I found it enjoyable. That's good enough for me, kind of a thing.
All right, cool.
So, is it hard to point out weaknesses? No. I mean, sorry, yes, it is.
Yeah, I'm still grasping at straws a little bit.
Yeah, because there's points about it, sure, but like
they didn't
rated pretty high in my book, so it's not game breaking enough for me to go, wow, it would have been so much better if I had done this. but
So
you know,
so you're just like scraping the bottom.
yeah, like I had to nitpick to come up with weaknesses.
Okay.
So let's cut it off.
Yeah, let's cut it off there. We'll get one more strength from you guys. How about that?
The look of it. It looked really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Art style.
Yeah, carried by the art style. Like it's tech, it's aged, but that's normal. That's part of the course.
But like the stuff where
But
everything was sort of weird
it still holds
and
up
weirdly
well. Yeah,
shaped
and that's the thing. It's the art style that kind of
Picasso-esque.
offsets the fact that the tech itself is now
2 generations old.
yeah. So held up fine.
Well, apart from the dialogue, the sound and music were all good. Like it's.
Sure.
Like it's not the strongest strength, but it was made me actually no scrap that. I'm gonna scrap that completely. The exploration. I started playing that game and straight away, all I wanted to do was keep exploring, seeing what this is and that is. Like there's tunnels, there's things to find. The bear that come out of nowhere and just like picks you up and beats the crap out of you. And you're like, what is this?
Telekinetic bears. Don't forget, and later on in the game, I don't know if you, I'm pretty sure you got fairly far into the game. I know you didn't finish it, but there's pyrokinetic cougars around, or mountain lions or whatever they are. Yeah, there'll just be a mountain lion that will set you on fire from a distance and run up and like claw you.
Oh, that's
It's
great.
like
That's great. Yeah, so
insane.
that's just really good. Like the exploration just made that game so good. Like
Cool.
the little bits of the arrowheads you could get and
The little
what are they
cards.
called? The cards. Yeah, the
Psych
cards. Yeah, things like that. Just
and don't forget the scavenger hunt as well.
yeah, the scavenger hunt.
is-
But then even the replayability for levels, like you need the cobweb duster to go back and complete levels. Like they told you need this much stuff, and it's like, oh cool, yeah, okay, oh yeah, I missed out on some emotional baggage there, or there's memory vaults and things like that. It's all pretty solid.
What do you got for us next?
Well, look, I was going to just chuck off about 2 of each, 2 weaknesses, 2 strengths. Strength, I was going to say, yeah, definitely the exploration. I love just roaming around and again, the dialogue for me, just like having all that reams of just different dialogue.
Yeah.
Just like reels of just VO that was hilarious. And yeah, obviously all the stuff to find as well. For weaknesses, some of the abilities didn't quite work when you felt that they should.
Yeah.
So for example, the levitation one that you said before, I use that all the time.
Yeah.
But you do actually when you're in the air, you have to actually glide and then use your levitate. You can't actually just bring the levitation ball out midair. It'll just fail.
Oh,
It'll just
really?
fail and you just fall.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so that's kind of annoying. But I mean, look, that's like a minor gripe. The other thing, and this is for me, this is a semi-major gripe, and was one of the first reasons why I finished it only the once last I played it, is at least on the version that I had, which was the original Xbox version, which was the first release. It did not have. There's a point of no return in this game. There is a point after which, if you hit that point, it'll give you an autosave, and you will not be able to access the overworld anymore at all.
No.
You can't go to the shop to buy any new items. You can't level up anymore. You can pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
And it was not signposted at all. It just you do a thing, a small cutscene happens, and then it goes auto-saving, point of no return. And when I remember the first time I saw that, I was like, wait, what? Huh? So I knew it. I was waiting for it this time, and I did a save just beforehand. Yeah.
Which for you collectathon people, allows you to then go back and collect all the things that you might.
That's right. Yeah, and
level up and whatever.
Yeah, because once you get to the high end level ups, it's just you get infinite ammo for your abilities and regenerating health. And I think at the end you get a special cutscene if you get all of them, which I didn't even get because I started to have to run out of time in terms of finishing the game. But yeah, that was just for me. The point of no return is just, it wasn't a deal breaker, but I'm and I think
it was just poorly implemented. That's
yeah,
all. It was fine
you were
to
saying,
have, but you just need to be explicit.
I think you were saying that it gave you a bit of a signpost.
Yeah, there was a
before
little pop up for me, but that
for
might
me,
be something out of the scene.
they would have probably added that later. All right, next one. Sorry for me looking down at my phone, but I did write these all up. Okay, so this one, the next one, we've kind of actually talked. You sort of mentioned a little bit about it, so I don't know if you've been glancing at my phone or not. But do you think that this game stands up against, compared to legendary platformers such as your Mario 64s, your Banjo Kazooies, and how do you think it stacks up in total, as a game in games since 2005? Do you think it earns its praise?
Ooh.
So it's kind of a two-pronged question. Do you think it stacks up against other platformers or even other puzzle adventure games? Whichever pigeonhole you want to use. Do you think it stands up against sort of legendary games in that ballpark? And do you think it stands up...
It's in the ballpark.
Yeah.
I do think there's plenty that do the platforming better and perhaps have a wider spread of ideas they're going for. In terms of how you platform, obviously it's not necessarily all of them are anywhere near as quirky as what we've got going here in Psychonauts, but the actual what you're doing moment to moment action, I think they've probably done a little bit better in some cases, but very few.
Okay.
And then what was the other one compared to?
Like, how does it stack up to games since then?
Like I said before, it holds up really well compared to most other stuff. Like the platforming's super tight, and sure we've got fewer and fewer kind of 3D platforming action games these days, or where platforming is the focus. Ratchet and Clank and probably Mario are still about the only ones really.
Don't forget Blinks the Cat.
No. We all forgot Blinks the Cat until then.
So did, You're welcome. That one was
so,
cute.
Anyway, I think it holds up. I think it actually holds up pretty well. It's not got a lot of competition out there, but it holds up
I mean, you've got quite a few. You've got like your Jack and Daxter, you've got your Banjo-Kazooie, you've got...
See, even most of them had been and gone by the time that this came out. So in terms of
2005?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jack was been and gone, or had been and gone.
Okay.
We certainly haven't seen a real Banjo-Kazooie since early 2000s or whatever it was. So but it's not up against much, but that doesn't belittle the game in any way.
It's not up against much since then.
You can still stand head and shoulders amongst most, despite the fact that there's little competition there.
What about you?
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Like, does it stand up against some of the legends? Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, for me, most of my platforming, like I love platformers. Let's not gloss over that at all. Bring back Crash. That's all I'm going to say.
Chameleon Blast 2? Yeah, great game.
Jesus.
I'm just going to keep throwing out the shittest platform as I can.
You know, like it's...
Croc.
It's good.
Cool spot. Like,
you got something to say about Croc, motherfucker?
Get to it.
Jesus Christ, no. And I don't know, like it does. It holds up well. I guess it's the adult side of it that kind of appeals to me. Like, you know, growing up with those games, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed Psychonauts as much if it had not have been for them.
Do you think so?
Well,
do you think?
Yeah, like, I mean...
I thought that the humour in a lot of what was written had that sort of... could appeal to kids because
Easy
it's silly.
For little kids.
Oh,
but
there's
also...
definitely stuff there, but like, I mean, I'm talking as personally as myself.
Okay.
Like, you know, like looking back on South Park, I found it hilarious. Looking at it now, it's even more because I get it more.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So like, it definitely, it's all ages. Don't get me wrong when I'm saying that. Like, I mean, I could give it to an 8-year-old and he'd like enjoy it and things like that, and like, you know, be able to play it. But then, you know, the older they get, the more they're going to understand of like, you know, the puns and the things and just the themes about it too. So yeah, I think it holds up. Definitely.
Okay, cool. Now this one's kind of a weird one because since the sequel has already been announced for crowdfunding, that's already been completed. It's gotten
the history behind that was that there was a crowdfunding campaign last year, so 2015.
Yes.
Those of you watching this now.
Date of the episode.
You know, years. We recorded this in 2016.
Just done it again.
It was announced. It was announced last year alongside a VR.
Yeah,
a bridging VR game
between the two. Between
they went to
Psychonauts 1.
crowdfunding, so we know that Psychonauts 2 is still a fair way out. Just based.
I think it's 2018. I think is where they're shooting for. But
I thought it was like going to be like when I saw the news announcement on the Steam news, I was like, oh, cool. That answers our usual question, but I didn't think it was going to be that far off. But
yeah, well, I mean, it's like they've got to start pre-production for that. Like basically, all that they did is they said, "Hey, we'll pick up where the other one left off." Kind of. Do you want a sequel? Yeah, cool. It's gonna, and that's been a running gag over the years.
Yes, as well for me. Yes,
you didn't actually hear my question. Yeah,
yes, I want one to that point that you just raised.
That wasn't going to be my question.
I know. It was just go. For God's sake.
Under the bus we go. My actual question. So again, I was just going to say so that I mean they've got to start the sequel from scratch, and it's always been a running gag that it will cost them millions of dollars to make one, just because. And I think part of that was because of how unsuccessful it was commercially. But my actual question to the both of you, now that we can get to that part, is: do you think after playing it now, it is a crying shame that we've had to wait so long? Do you think this game should have? Do you think this game should have exploded and it deserves a sequel 5 years ago?
No.
Really?
I find it better sometimes when a game has not been given a sequel for it.
So
Close to the thing. I like a good amount of time between some sequels to give. I mean, Double Fine isn't obviously the world's biggest game developers, so it gave them time to do Brutal Legend and other games in between.
Another commercial failure.
So, but it's
fantastic
good.
game.
Yeah, well, just
mismarketed and development hell
and so I think it's good that it's coming out in 2018. It's given time for people to catch up on playing it, and it's given the people that have played it time to miss it. You know what I mean?
It's totally become like a cult classic.
Yeah,
for sure.
and it's good that it's got that title. If a sequel came out too soon, I think it may not have done as well as it would, especially in today's age.
Will.
So that's actually a lead into my answer. So I have the same opinion. No, I'm glad that they didn't have one early, and that's because at the time the 3D platformer outside of probably Mario and Ratchet it had almost died. It was really quiet. There wasn't much interest in the genre at all. But now, and by the time the game comes out, 3D platforms are starting to come back. So we haven't seen Mario in a while, but no, that's a whole other aside. But Ratchet's come back and has sold ridiculous amounts in its first month or so. Ukulele's on the way, and that was one of the fastest and most successful Kickstarter campaigns. And there's surely a few others that are probably on the way too. There's still talk Banjo mightn't, all these sorts of things. It seems to be just returning at the right time, that also with a decade under their belt to get some fresh ideas, that sort of thing. It's probably better for the franchise. Okay. Because it might have released Psychonauts 2, Psychonauts 3 just fizzled because there just weren't numbers there. Fair enough. They couldn't justify doing it again.
Okay. So that more is getting to the point of would it have a commercially successful sequel? But my main sort of question is, or where I was sort of coming from is, would you have liked more Psychonauts content to move on to now? Let's say there was a sequel that had been out. That's a whole nother portion of this goodness. Would you have wanted more of the same? And is it a bit of a shame that you're still going to have to keep waiting for more of the same?
No. Okay. Same reason.
Yeah. No, it's look at a majority of movies, especially comedic games, you know what I mean? It can get dry very fast or repetitive, and even though it was so good, and it's not that it's technically it should have had more time to be able to fit more in or do more, because it did. It's still holding up. It's a very large. It's not huge, but it is a very big game. There's heaps to do. There's heaps of different worlds and things. There's so much in a game for that time. I can only imagine what they're going to achieve now. And if they had done it back then, we probably would have looked about the same size of game almost.
So you're looking forward to it now because there's more Psychonauts?
I'll definitely look forward to it now because even if they don't add more, we'll just see more beauty come out of it. You know what I mean? Cool. Scrub up some things. Not that it looked ugly, but we can just better.
But you can see that difference from the Xbox version, the original version, to what we're playing on Steam, for example.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's sharper edges, that sort of thing.
Definitely.
As will also inevitably be the case when it comes out on PS4 in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
I wholly expect it to be ready in time for this, but...
Okay, then let me ask you. That: will you play it again on PS4?
The original.
The original.
If Double Fine sends me a code.
Can you believe that? Code will be posted just right.
Free giveaway, take one. No, look, I probably would, regardless of that fact.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Enjoyed
It's a good time filler
enjoyed the
in a
game,
sense.
and I'm a trophy whore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. We
You are a whore. I don't know about the trophies, but it's definitely one.
I mean, he would get a trophy for being a whore. Moving on from whores. That's pretty much, look, that's all I had prepared for the questions, because, look, as far as I'm concerned, the game speaks for itself. It has sold gangbusters since it's been put on digitally. Like, it's sold, what, almost, or more than double what it sold.
No, it's smashed.
Oh,
Or more than more than double, triple, I think, actually, in just since it's been on Steam. So,
Hell, I got a few sales from us just to do this.
yeah, for sure. In fact, I think in Damo's case, you said you'd already bought it.
Yeah, I already had it.
It was just a matter of getting around to it.
Yeah. I mean, because the first time I tried to jump on it, I didn't have an authentic Xbox controller.
Oh,
So,
okay.
like, I tried to use, like, a Spartan, which someone had told me. It's like, it's the exact same thing. Like, it's programmed in,
No.
well, Windows 7 and Windows 10
Rejected it.
don't agree with that. And it wouldn't work on Psychonauts at all. I'm like, I don't want to play with the keyboard. It's a platformer. I got really shitty, and I just kind of gave up on it, like, straight away, because, I don't know, I like playing games with my controller.
Cool. Yeah, it speaks for itself. Pick it up. It's cheap on Steam. Just do yourself a favour.
Well, no, like, because I just one thing, like,
Yeah, you go for it.
because I watched the cutscenes, like, I was like, shit, I can't remember, like, you know, when I'd played it for a little bit, and then I, like, think, and there's no way to, you know, go back and watch all that stuff, like, well, I didn't know, so I just jumped on YouTube, and I'm like, and it's just like, you know, intro and things, just to refresh myself before this.
They are totally
It
in the
was
game.
3.5 hours of cutscenes.
Oh, yeah.
It is a full deck
Metal
thing,
Gear
and
experience.
that is great. Like that just shows you, just in cutscenes alone, there's plenty of great dialogue and beautiful moments and things like that. So yeah, I'll give you my 2 thumbs up to go check it out.
They're all available for viewing at any time in one of the menus.
In the game, yeah.
Are they? Well, there you go. Nothing I need to discover.
Yeah, no, there's that, and that's another one of the things that's just great about this game. That the options menus that you've got in your, like, little journal.
There's a lot there.
There's, like, basically every option that you would want in a game. It's like, rewatch all the cutscenes, look at how many of the, you know, your collection totals you've got, and, like, view them.
Yeah, that was
view
good.
them in depth, and, like, this game just basically, it was like, oh, I see that there are games who have tried to do similar things in the past, like collectathons and blah 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 blah, and they've made it awkward for you. Let's make it easy. Here you go. And it just works.
Yeah, it
and
did.
like, Psychonauts is just a really polished game, in my opinion. It's just, and that's the thing, like, it's super polished. And it was a development studio's first game. Like, I love it. Super good.
Alright, we might wrap up that one there.
Regale me of tales of next month.
I think that might be the first time where all three of us have been totally unanimous about the game. Is that about right? Might be. Certainly, it might be one of the very few times that you'll ever see that. So that's a thumbs up. That's go by.
I think
That's a total of 9 thumbs up.
So next month, though, we're on to my game, which is Darksiders 2.
Yes.
Be it PS3, 360, PC, the definitive edition on PS4 and Xbox One, whatever. That's what you'll be getting next month, but make sure to check out Patched, especially over the course of this month, because we've got a whole bunch of E3 content that's on the way. Clearly the biggest game in the industry, Damo, stop it. And a range of other things where we'll be talking about what's to come, recaps of the event, and
stuff as it happens. We're going to be trying to put up stuff basically as press conference happens. We're going to be trying to
we're going to
work
record
on
something,
stuff.
try and get it out as quickly as
Jay might actually tweet.
No.
But while on the topic, there will be
Another
plenty
unanimous
you can
no.
track
We're doing
there
well.
will be plenty you can track there.
Yes, we'll.
Via Player2 AU, Paul James P2,
At Targo's
Taco
Talks.
Talks, not Jay.
No, player2.net is where I'll be posting my
.au.
stuff, because I'm about the real business.
But until next month, thank you again for watching whatever this was, and we'll see you later.
Collection of good intent.